there are a number of activities going on. The enrichment at these levels is something that causes concern, as I have been discussing with my Iranian counterparts in a very direct way. It's not about me making statements. This is a fact. And this is continuing as we speak. The important thing, and this is what we are focusing now, really, we are focusing on trying to get the clarifications we need on what is going on there, and also very importantly, to support technically and in a very serious way the ongoing negotiations between Iran and the United States. Because what I said, and you quoted, I've been saying for quite a long time, with the aggravating factor that we haven't seen any significant move diplomatically or politically for a long time, with the situation being, worsening as time passes, because, you may be not doing anything diplomatically and politically, but the centrifuges keep spinning, and the stockpile keeps growing. So we need to address this. We need to address it without delay. We know that this concern could transform into something bigger, a conflict, a military conflict, which we need absolutely to avoid. But of course, for that, you have to have a credible and a very robust deal, agreement, however you want to call it, verifiable first, and verified by the IAEA. And this is what we are doing now.
You've also expressed some concern recently about satellite imagery that reveals a deeply buried tunnel and expanded security perimeter.
Yeah.
Specifically at Natanz.
Natanz, yes.
And so does that seem to imply that they're worried about an attack? President Trump did not rule out an attack if
this
there's
is not
no
a
deal.
secret, Pamela. Don't forget that ever since 2020 already, after there was some episode at Natanz, at one of the nuclear facilities in Iran, the Iranians themselves said they were going to put their sensitive facilities underground, or as they said at that time, in the heart of the mountain. So that it would be protected. So my impression is that I'm not revealing any secret if I tell you that there is a concern, and not only that, there are statements being made, public statements being made by others saying, if we come to a conclusion that there is no viable agreement, we are going to take things in our own hands. So I think we have to avoid that coming to that point. And this is, I think, the gist of the effort which is ongoing and that we are trying to support.
Would you say most countries are worried about the development of Iran's nuclear program?
I think there is a legitimate concern. And I think we have to respectfully tell our Iranian colleagues and partners, you have to address this. We cannot, hide the fact or avoid the fact that this is causing a lot of concern and that we need to find a solution. And I think they see it. Otherwise, they would not be engaging in the serious way they are. Because let's not forget that this is the first time for a number of years where I see Iran very seriously engaging and discussing and addressing in a very, very direct way the heart of the problem. Does that mean that we are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel? Well, not yet, but this is our best chance.
And you said that time is short.
Yeah.
Tell me what you mean by that.
I mean by that we know that there are a number of political conditions out there. I just mentioned the fact that there are other countries in the region that are impatient and they see the lack of results as a reason maybe to take direct action. This is an important factor. There are other factors playing out even here in New York where countries are thinking about reimposing or imposing the highest level ever of sanctions by a process called snapback of sanctions, which might be coming later in the year, October. But October, is a long time. And we have an ongoing issue, and a problem that we need to address. This is why we say we don't have much time. We cannot afford the luxury of seeing this dragging for months on end without a clear view for all involved, for Iran, for the United States, for the European, the E3 and others, for Russia. playing a very important role for China without coming to a very clear point where we see where this is aiming.
How to reform the United Nations? It's definitely at a low ebb these days. With the world, there's so many crises, and the big ones, UN is not resolving. How do you see the next
Pamela,
stage?
let me say this. As I said, I'm considering it very, very seriously. And perhaps because of the things we have been discussing just now. I think we are in a very difficult moment, in a very crucial moment in international relations, where we can see, and the work of the IAEA is showing, that multilateral answers do exist if we play them well. Talking about other things, what I would propose to you is that we have a discussion when the process begins. As you know, you're an expert in all UN matters. The process has not started yet. So when the process starts, I think it will be very important that the international community has a choice of candidates which can show what they stand for, what their track record is, and perhaps what they can offer.
Right, and that will begin later this year.
Yeah.
Do you think the UN can be reformed, needs reform?
I think every institution has to be up of the challenges of the times. And we have an international situation that is evolving so rapidly and in such unpredictable ways that we cannot continue to operate like 10 years or 20 years before. And this I say, having in mind my own organization, which, who would have dreamed or thought that we would be a field operation, that my people and myself would be with bulletproof vests and helmets in a war zone. But we've done it, and we continue doing it. I think we have to be up to the challenges of the moment.